What's going on, guys? We got another episode for you, so let's dive into it. Okay guys, so here's what we got going. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a backstory on this one, and we'll talk about a few things before we take you and show you what the project is. So I got a phone call from a contractor that I've done a couple jobs for, and they called and said they have an industrial building that they're working on that they need some structural steel welded in the ceiling, and there's going to be 10 of them. So the caveat to this job is they need me there as soon as possible. Now today it's currently Friday at the power went out. I have to reset my clock. It's currently 5:30. After talking to the contractor, so the building that we'll be doing the work on is a tilt-up concrete building, and I guess it's quite large. So I was asking him questions about how the last welder got in there and welded them up. Apparently the building already has some of the inventory in it, and the doors are on it, so there's not a whole lot of ventilation. So I asked, is this something I can get my engine drive in there? And they said, well, yeah, you could, but you're gonna have to have a mile's worth of lead. So I tossed it around, and it was either buy another couple 100 feet of lead or start looking at my options for an inverter welder where I could just stick weld it. The other little detail to this job is it's 47 feet in the air, so we're going to be in a man lift. So, you know, there are some details here that make this a little bit of a challenging job. The welding itself is not challenging, but there are a few complications. The fact that it's in the building and the fact that you're 47 feet in the air. The contractor has a lift, so I don't have to rent a lift. But then I started looking at my options for what type of equipment I'm going to use to weld this one up. So I thought, okay, well, it's obviously going to be a two-person job. So I'm going to take Bridger with me on this job, and I believe it's angle that we'll be welding in. They already have the material on site, so I don't have to buy the material. So this one is strictly a mobilization and welding job. As far as equipment goes, I do have the arc captain here, and last night Bridger was out here practicing, and as you can see, he's doing fairly well. We do have quite a few arc strikes here on the table, because that's what happens when you're learning, but he is starting to get the hang of it. So he's going to be helping me out on this one. There's a good chance that I'm going to need to have two welders on this job. That way, one of us on either end of the angle can hold up our end, tack our end, and then we can go to welding. I don't know that Bridger has enough hood time to actually perform the welding. I'm going to see what type of welds we have to make and how comfortable he is, and over the next 2 days I'm going to see how he does practicing out here in the shop before we make that call. But he can at least help me tack them up, and so I knew I was going to need two welders to do this job. Then I started thinking about, well, what are my options for welders? I figured for the price that I would spend to go buy a couple 100 feet of lead, I figured it would be more worth it to probably just put that money towards another small inverter welder that I could put in a man lift for jobs like this. Now, I do have the arc captain. The arc captain has done fantastic, and we are taking the arc captain on this job. So one of us will be using the arc captain. The other one of us will be using this other welder. What I ended up doing is purchasing another welder. I know you guys are probably thinking that I've gone on this crazy welder shopping spree, but that's not exactly what happened. And that's not my intention, even though I am pretty excited, because it's just another arrow in my quiver. It's just another tool in the shop. And now next time I run into this situation, I know that I'm covered and I have enough equipment so that two of us can go and hang the iron and weld it out. Okay, so I'm going to show you what we got. Yes, that is right. Next day air. So this is the next part of the story. The fact that they want me there as soon as possible, and Bridger's able to help me on Monday because he's out of school and it's a holiday, I figured, okay, I've probably got to get this one done on Monday. So then I went into panic mode trying to figure out what type of welder I could get my hands on in a matter of 2 days. So I basically had 2 business days to get it here so that I could have it for Monday and have the equipment I need to do the job. What I ended up going with is the Miller Max Star 161, the STL model, which is stick, TIG, lift arc. So now we've got more than one portable welder that we can take, and more than one person can be welding at the same time. I had to pull the trigger, I had to be fast, I had to get it here, I had to pay overnight shipping, which was outrageous. But that's behind us, it's here now. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this and we'll take a look at it. We're gonna run some practice welds with it tonight, because you don't ever wanna walk into your job site blind, not knowing how your equipment's gonna run. So we'll unbox it, we'll set it up, we'll run a few test passes with it, and we'll give you guys a look. So let's do that now. Alright, so here's one of the first things that I really like about this machine, and one of the reasons that I decided to go with this setup for this. It's a multi-process machine for one, so I can run stick and TIG with it. I think it's going to be great for stuff, especially where you got to be in a man lift or something like that. But one of the reasons that I really like this setup is because of this box. It actually comes with this box. It's part of the kit. It's a super nice job box. It's got a nice rubber grip handle on it. You can fit the whole kit in this box. You could even fit your welding rod and a bunch of other stuff in there. And I think that is definitely a very convenient, handy setup if you're a contractor and you're going on site and you got to drag all your equipment somewhere. That's going to make your life a lot easier. You're going to have to make a lot less trips. It's nice that everything is centralized in one box. You're going to forget things less and lose tools less because you're keeping it all together in one tight box. Now, when I show you how small this welder is, it's kind of mind-blowing that they make such a versatile unit in such a small package. This thing here is literally 13 inches by 10 inches by 6 inches. I mean, it is teeny. It's got a nice shoulder strap that's adjustable so that if you're packing it up and down a ladder or something like that, you can take it. It does run off 110 or 220. That's the other reason that I liked it, because chances are on this job we are going to be running 110. It's so high up there and it's so long that we are going to run an extension cord off of a generator that is already on site, and that's how we're going to weld it up. We ran the Arc Captain with 110 last night off of an extension cord, and it ran like a dream. No hiccups, no issues, it never tripped once. We were running 332 7018 at 90 amps, and it ran it great. Never had any issues, so I'm feeling good about the Arc Captain. It's good, it's ready to go, and now we're going to test this one out, make sure we get the same results. So anyway, back to the machine. Once we get it all powered up, we'll show you guys the features. You are able to run a foot pedal off of this if you want, and this setup actually came with the finger control. If you're TIG welding, you don't have to have a foot pedal. Sometimes that's hard, like if you're on a ladder or something, to run a foot pedal. I've done it, but it's not fun. So it comes with TIG torch, gas hose, Miller TIG starter kit, which comes with your cups, your collets, your collet bodies. Okay, so here's our power cord. The power cord is 220. Oh, that's cool. I actually didn't realize it, but it comes with 2 separate cables. So it comes with your 220 cable, and then it comes with your regular cable for 110. So that's pretty nice. I like that there's 2 separate cables. Here's our ground and our stick lead. Spring is nice and tight on the Stinger. Ground clamp is nice and heavy and strong. Spring is very strong. There's our finger control for our TIG torch. I'm not going to pull that out of the package yet because I don't think I'm going to get to use this until we get this job over with. My focus right now is just getting the welder set up, testing it out, making sure it runs good, and getting ready for Monday so we can go do this job. Okay? Comes with the regulator. It's a Miller regulator, so it's probably a Smith, but it does look Very good quality. I like that it comes with a regulator, and then you got your manual. That is something right there that I think is really nice about the way Miller does it now. And I don't think they've always done it that way, but I like that they give you a laminated cheat sheet with settings on it that can walk you through how to set it up and how to make your adjustments. I feel like I know what I'm doing enough that I don't really need it, but for somebody that's starting out or somebody that maybe doesn't do it every day, I feel like that is a very useful tool. So I think that's cool. So I'm going to set this over on the other side of the table. I'm going to get it all set up, and we'll start burning some rods, see how it goes. Alright guys, so here we go. I got it all plugged in. We got it plugged into just 110 outlet, our extension cord right here. So we're going to power this on, see what it looks like. So the first thing I notice is it maxes out on 130 amps on 110, but it is in TIG mode. So, okay, so it maxes out at 90 on stick, and it does have a 60-10 mode, so it should run 60-10. So we'll actually try out some 60-10 just for the fun of it. A lot of these smaller inverters can't run 60-10. I don't know the science behind it, but for some reason a lot of them can't run 60-10. But obviously with this having a 60-10 mode, that'll be a good thing to have. If you're working on pipe fence or something like that where you're wanting to run 60-10, that's going to come in handy. So we'll go back to regular stick mode, and I'm going to leave it on full blast because that's usually where I run. 332 is 90 amps. So we're going to run it at full and see if it kicks out. I need to know if it's going to kick out because that's what we're going to use, and if it's going to trip on me, then I don't know how much good it's going to do me. So we're going to put it through its paces and see what happens. Okay, I'm going to hit this with a wire wheel real quick, and then we'll run one, see how it goes. Okay, here we go. Okay, seems to run really smooth. Didn't have any issues. You can tell the fan kicked on. The fan kicked on about an inch into the weld. And it's off already, so it must not have pushed it too hard. It's not warm. So I want to burn a few consecutive rods because that's really what it's going to be like. I want to make it as real of a test as possible. So we'll chip the slag off this one, give you guys a look, and then we'll run some more. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Hopefully you guys can see that. It's looking good. Ran smooth. I don't see any pinholes or anything. So I'm going to flip it over, run one on this backside. It's not warm yet. Well, it must not be pushing it too hard. I'm sure it's probably got a safety, and that's why it'll only allow you to go to 90 amps. Okay, it's looking good. I'm gonna run a couple more. I'm actually gonna run a triple pass on this one. This is for all those people who just can't stand to see somebody else succeed or somebody else prosper. This is for all those people who just can't stand to keep it in and not say something demeaning. The negativity and the hate, all that does is fuel the fire for people like me. My hope is that when people watch this segment, they can take what we've talked about and use it in their life to give them ambition, to follow their dreams, but also I think we can also learn to support each other and to be happy for each other. And I also think sometimes it's okay to keep your thoughts inside your head. They don't always have to come out your mouth. So this is a segment dedicated to all those people I'd like to call Fabricators. All right, guys, let's talk about today's Fabricator. So I received this comment from the trailer repair video, and it comes to us from Totorina2722. And he says, "And you let your kid watch the welding arc? Are you unconscious or what?" And then my response, "My kids have been taught that they shouldn't watch the arc. They have been warned what will happen if they do. I'm a tough love parent. I assure you, if they get flash burn one time, they won't do it again." This is how people get smarter. In my opinion, one of the problems with society today is that people are protected from the things that they should sometimes learn the hard way. And the thing of it is, I do feel like society is getting weaker. And I do feel like sometimes it's okay for kids to learn things the hard way. Now, that being said, it's not like I bring my 2-year-old out here and I just let him run rampant and let him burn his eyes. That's obviously not the case, because you guys don't see him out here running around while I'm welding for that very reason. But I am also a tough love parent, and I do think that sometimes it's okay to let your kids learn the hard way. There are a lot of lessons that sometimes they're just tough to learn. People can warn you what to watch out for, but sometimes until you get burned, you don't learn your lesson. I just find it really funny that people are so quick to assume that you're just letting your kid run around, stare at the arc, and you're just not even caring about it. That's not the case. I've warned my boys. I've been through all the safety precautions with my boys, and I've warned them what will happen if they look at the arc. I can't stand behind my child and hold my hand over his eyes every time someone's welding. I can guarantee you one thing: if my child doesn't listen to me and he ends up getting flash burn because he didn't listen to me, he's going to be a lot more likely to listen the next time and make sure that he has the proper PPE on. Long sleeves, a welding hood. We all know the drill. So that's going to be today's Fabricator comment. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let's get back to the project. Okay, so they actually make 3 models of the Maxstar 161. There's the S, which is stick only. There's the STL, which is what this is, and that's stick and TIG, lift arc TIG. That's what the L's for, is lift arc. And then there's an STH, which is actually a stick TIG high freak unit. So it actually has high frequency on it. So I think that would be really handy, but I did my research before I bought this, and I probably would have paid the extra money for the high freak unit. But the problem is, I read reviews. There was a couple videos on YouTube where they did a review on the STH with the high frequency, and they said that the board tends to go out. The high frequency board goes out, and then the high frequency doesn't work. I didn't find any videos or anything bad that was said about the STL, which is the lift arc model. So I ended up going with the lift arc model. I've welded a lot with scratch start and lift arc, so it's something that I'm used to, and I kind of figured if I can be able to buy a unit like this and it's one less headache I'll have to deal with, I'll stay away from the high frequency and I'll stick to just the lift arc, and I hope that this lasts me for years. So that's why I decided to go with the STL. Alright, so there's our second pass. Hopefully you guys can see that okay. It's looking good, it's running smooth. So now I'm going to run a third pass. Okay, there's 3 passes. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Seems like a nice smooth arc. It runs well. Extension cord's not hot. Okay, I think that turned out pretty good. There's both sides. It's nice and smooth. Smooth arc. It's light. Heck, I don't know. I think they said it only weighs like 13 pounds or something like that. So I think it's going to work out good. That's probably going to be it for tonight. I just kind of wanted to tell you guys the backstory on how we got this job and why we ended up having to purchase this. And you know, I could have said, I don't think I have the equipment for that, so I'm probably not going to be able to do it. But I feel like if you really want to succeed as a business owner, sometimes you have to just say yes, and you have to force yourself into a situation where you figure it out. It's the exact same thing that happened with the bushings. When I first took on that job, I was a little scared, I was a little nervous. I didn't quite know how I was gonna machine the inline grease grooves, but I just thought, you know what? If someone else can do it, I should be able to figure it out. And so I did, and I don't regret it. They turned out great, the customer was happy. This job has been no different. I could have said, no, I don't have the equipment, I can't do it. Or you freaking strap on your boots, you cowboy up and you go to work. And you say, you know what, I'm gonna take the job and I'm just gonna figure it out. And that's what we did. So, but I overnighted the welder, I got the equipment here. So the contractor told us to be there at 9 a.m. So we'll get there at 9 a.m. We'll roll out our tools and get all set up and start going to work, and we'll show you guys what we got. So we'll see you there. Alright guys, we're just backing out the driveway. It is about 8 a.m. We're just heading out to go to this job, myself and Bridger. So we're gonna head in there, and once we get on site, we'll give you guys a look at what we got going. Alright guys, we're here. It's kind of loud in here, so I'll try to talk loud. Hopefully you can hear me. This section of the building is where we're going to be setting the angle for the roof mount mechanical. There's 10 total. We really don't even know where we're at yet. They're in the process of marking them right now, and then they're just going to show us where they need the angle welded in, and we'll do it. So just kind of give you guys a look at the building and what we're looking at. It is 47 feet in the air, so we do have a great big man lift we're going to use. We're just getting our tools set up right now, and we'll give you an update when we get ready to weld. Alright, so we're on our way up. We'll give you guys a look at what we got going so far. It's been kind of slow getting started, but we'll show you what we got. Alright, so me and Bridge are up here. They've already started cutting their hole for the rooftop HVAC unit. So what we've got to do is we've got to add a piece of angle cutting across from joist to joist, there and there, and that's to help support the weight of the rooftop unit. We've got one piece of angle right there. We've got one more to cope. So what we're going to do is we're going to get this one tacked. Once we get it tacked, we're going to pull the measurement for the other one. Bridger's going to go down and start prepping that piece, while I weld this one out, and hopefully by the time I'm done welding that out, he's got that one ready and we're ready to do the next one. So let's see what we can get done. It's been slower than I expected, so let's see what happens. Alright guys, so we got our workstation set up here. We got our DeWalt table here, just a portable work table, which has made this job a lot easier. It's a lot nicer getting it up off the floor where we can set this saw and use some pipe stands to hold up our workpiece. That's been a game changer.
It's time for today's super cool tool.
Alright guys, so for today's super cool tool, what I want to talk about is our DeWalt table. This was definitely a game changer on this project, and I say that because once you've cut material with a saw like that on the floor, you know how nice it is to be able to get things up off the ground. You're not having to bend over all day. It's a lot nicer. So I just want to go over this table. So this is a DeWalt brand table. I know you Milwaukee guys are probably in an uproar right now, but it is a DeWalt table, and I'll show you the things that I really like about it. It is rated to hold 1,000 pounds, or at least that's what it says. I kind of believe it, because we had this loaded down with our saw, which is not light. We had 12-foot lengths of 4 by 4 by quarter angle sitting on the table on the saw. You could tell that it was weighed down. It is a plastic top, but there are a lot of square reinforcements in the way that it's built, and I'm assuming that helps with the way it is able to hold up so much weight. The other thing I like about it is how small it is. It's a very compact table. The table itself is plastic, but the legs and the structure that makes the table function the way it does is steel. So most of the important parts are steel. It probably weighs, I don't know, maybe 10 pounds. It's not super heavy. The other thing I like about it, it's easy to store, it's small, and it's easy to set up. So there's a button on the top here. You can use this handle to carry it when you're transporting it from A to B. But then there's a button there. If you push the button, the legs swing right out and it locks in place. There's also a handle here, so you can carry it there if you want. But it is a nice, comfortable working height. So there are lots of holes here where you could mount your saw right to the table. It's also got this, so you could mount your saw to that as well. So I was able to pick this table up at Home Depot for 89 bucks. I figured that was pretty fair price. I think it's going to last me a long time. But if you're looking for a portable table so that you don't have to bend over, it's just nice to have a work surface or even somewhere just to put your tools while you're working on something. If you're looking for something like that, I would check out this table. So that's going to wrap up our super cool tool for today. Let's get back to the project. We got our workstation set up here. We're measuring and cutting and coping here, and then we haul them up there and tack them up and weld them in place. So just wanted to give you guys a look at what the process is. So me and Bridger are going to go ahead and get this one cut and coped. We'll go from there. Just wanted to give you a little bit of an update on what's going on. Bridger and I were able to get 2 structures done in about 8 hours. It was a little bit slower than we expected. We did get a little bit of a late start to try and make it a little easier on us. I did bring the angle back to the shop and we're going to get those cut. We've pulled the measurements for the next 3 and we're going to get these cut. That way we can cut them and cope them here, and that way Thursday I'm going back in. I got a buddy that's going to come help me, so we're going to go in and hopefully I'd like to try to get them all fit up. If I can get them fit up and tacked up, then if I need to come back, I can come back later by myself and just weld them out. But it is a 2-person job to get them put in place and tacked up. So that's what we're going to do tonight. I just wanted to give you guys an update. There's also a couple other projects I got to get done tonight. Probably the next thing you'll see is Braxton and I heading into Salt Lake to go finish this job up, or at least we hope. So I'll give you an update then. What's going on, guys? Give you guys a little bit of an update. We're back on the job site. It's about 7:30, so we're just trying to get everything set up. I do have a helper with me today. We got Braxton here helping us out. You guys ever have one friend that's like kind of part gangster? That's Braxton. Whoa. Braxton, he's my one friend that's part gangster. So I call him Cholo. We're gonna get everything set up, and we do have our pieces all cut and ready to go for the next 3, so that should speed things up. So we're gonna get these in there and get them put in place. I'll give you guys an update once we get to that point. Looks like Cholo's doing a good job, so we got this first one in. So now we're gonna move over to the other side and do the other one. Alright guys, third time's a charm. So I'm here with Dalton.
What's up?
That's the good thing about knowing lots of guys that have a lot of skills. When you get in a pinch, you can call them up and they'll come help you. So Dalton's going to be helping me today. This should be the last day. We've got 4 pieces of angle left to weld in. We got the lift all set up. We've loaded up our tools, so we're going to go in there, see if we can't knock these out. Let you guys know how it goes when we get up there. That's how it's done. Alright guys, I know it's kind of dark, hard to see up here, but that kind of gives you an idea on what we got going. So there's a cope. We had to cope the angle so that it would fit in that corner. And then we've got to weld these out. And that just gives it the structural support to hold the HVAC unit that sits on the roof. And there was 10 total. This is actually the last one we've got to do. So get this one wrapped up, and then we'll be able to roll up and get out of here. So we'll get back to you when we get them all done. We'll give you guys a look.
That's it.
We got those done. I know it's really hard to see, so we'll chip these off, clean these up, and then that's gonna be it. So we'll get this all cleaned up and then we'll give you guys a look down there. All right guys, that right there is one of the AC units. There's another one there and there and there, and then they come back this side. There's one there, and we just finished up on that one there. And I know it's hard to see, but hopefully you can tell there's a piece of angle welded on either side of that. So we got it all done. Me and Dalton are signing off. Appreciate you guys watching. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, I realize it was awful dark in the warehouse there, so I did just want to mention a few things before I close the video out. So in this video, there was a lot of learnings on this one. When I say that, what I mean is I kind of went into this project a little bit blind. I didn't know exactly all the details of the job, what I was expected to do. There was a lot of agreements with the contractor where they rented the lift, they supplied a generator, and then I just show up and I weld it. They even supplied the angle. So that stuff was all nice because that's less of a headache for me if I can just show up and weld it. It was a little bit different for me because they wanted a quote per unit, price per unit. There was 10 units. I didn't know what to charge because I've never welded those out before. To be honest, I didn't really even know all the details of what I was expected to do for each structure. I'm not blaming anyone for that. That's my fault. They needed it done quickly, and so I had a friend that helped me get this job. So I ended up shooting a quote over. I did get some information on what the previous guy that was doing it charged. That was one of the mistakes that I did make on this project. I shouldn't have based my quote off of what someone else did. I should have just stuck to what I know, and I should have priced the quote out just like I would quote any other job. Well, this is what I think it's going to take. It's going to take 2 guys this long to do each unit. Here's my price. And I adjusted that based on some questions that I had asked my friend about the previous guy that had done it. And I shouldn't have done that. That's a mistake. I don't know what kind of equipment the previous guy has. I don't know what his skill level is. there's a lot of ifs there. My price should be based on my abilities, my equipment. This is my price, take it or leave it. That's what it is. That's what I should have done. And because I didn't do that, I really didn't make money on this job. So those are the jobs where it's really tough to swallow, but that's what makes you grow and learn in business. And when you learn from it, hopefully you're a better businessman in the future. I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think it's valuable information. I think that most of you guys like to know that stuff. We did use the Arc Captain and the new Miller on this project. Both ran flawlessly. We didn't have any issues. We ran them on 110. I want to throw out one more thank you to my buddies that helped me on this, both Braxton and Dalton. They're good dudes, but I appreciate them helping me out. I was in a bind and I had to get it done. So I just wanted to say thank you to them one more time. That's one of the benefits of surrounding yourself with good people, skilled people, especially when you're in business, is you can call on those people to help you when you do get in a bind. And I hope they feel that way about me. I think that's a valuable lesson for all of us. So anyway, I didn't mean to get on a soapbox there, but I just wanted to throw that out there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Something a little different, a little bit of field work. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you guys learned something. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you on the next one. Hey guys, just want to take one quick second and tell you guys that we've upgraded our camera and our audio situation. We're going to give this a try. I'm hoping that you guys will be able to hear me a little bit better, and I'm hoping that I'm not going to have as many audio issues. So we've upgraded our equipment. Hopefully that gives you guys a better viewing experience. So we'll see how it goes. I look forward to hearing you guys' feedback. So let me know in the comments. The camera's been upgraded. The audio's been upgraded. We got a different type of microphone system. So we'll see how it goes. Just want to throw that out there. Let's get back at it. What's going on, guys? We got another one started. Woo! What's going on, guys? We got another one starting out for you. Have a whole bunch of access doors in the roof of a large commercial building. Goodness. This is one of those concrete tilt. So the building that we'll be doing the work on is a tilt up. So the building that we'll be doing the work on is one of those tilt up concrete buildings. With the price of what I would goodness, one of the small. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys learned something.